What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me again. Silver Rupa here, and I need to share something with you. This is an important video because it's going to affect you. The tariffs are real. If you order from the Royal Mint or the Perth Mint or the Canadian Mint, you can be exposed to a tariff. Just depends on some factors there. So I did a lot of research on this because I got stuck with a giant bill. If you look at this, 25,000 Canadian, which is about 17.7, 17.8 in Canadian. So I ordered this a while back. This was a pre-order. And of course, this is a 10 kilo silver maple that came out. And cool. So I got that. But then upon delivery, which was just about a month ago, check this out. $6,110.48. Now, I was so surprised and I was scared of this. Now, I was getting this coin that was going to be an additional $6,500. And to my first, my first thought was I need to cancel this order. I am not paying the extra $6,500 for this. Just offhand, I just thought it was really ridiculous because, if you're going to pay a $6,500 tariff, and then when you sell your silver in the future, it's a 35% capital gains tax, that is just ridiculous. You're paying like 70% taxes on each piece of silver there. So there's a few situations where this would apply. So my first thought, I called Canadian Coin and Currency. My first thought is, hey, I just want to cancel the order. So the shipment was stuck at customs, and I called Canadian Coin and Currency, and they said, oh, we can't do that because you're stuck with that bill. So I said, what if I just refuse the shipment? Well, if you refuse the shipment, you're still on the hook. Now, I couldn't take their word for it because, of course, they don't want to be stuck with the bill because they can get stuck with the bill, but ultimately the buyer is responsible for the tariff. But the problem is in this situation, I've done research on this. There has to be a contractual agreement to be stuck with these tariffs. For instance, if you're placing an order and they said you could be exposed to tariffs, then that's an agreement and you still purchase the product. That's how it was listed. But me and Canadian Coin and Currency at that time, there was no tariffs whatsoever, and there was not even any kind of mention to it. So if I wanted to fight this, I could have, but I'm not going to do that. I really like Canadian Coin and Currency. I really just wanted this to go through there. So they suggested I called UPS, and I did call UPS, and it was forwarded to the customs UPS brokerage. Now, the UPS brokerage, they have the power to change customs codes. So this was put in as a USMCA non-compliant product which is subject to a 35% tariff. Now, Canadian Coin and Currency also told me that their products that they were shipping to the US are subject to a 35% tariff at this time. So, but there's a few tricks to this, so just hold on, I'll get to that. So, 35% tariff. So, I was desperate, man. So I was doing my research, and basically from my research is if you order a product that's going to be, that's tariffed, you're ultimately responsible for it. The seller or the buyer is. The buyer is responsible. Now, if you decide to refuse the shipment, there's a few problems with that. That does not guarantee that the product's going to go back to the company that you bought it from. It can actually just be held in customs and eventually will be sold at auction. Regardless of what happens, you're still going to be on the hook for that tariff, which you'll be getting a bill for. So it's very confusing. So I did so much research and I'm trying to find anything that I can find to say that to find that precious metals are not tariffed. So I called I got a special email to UPS Customs brokerage. So they actually broker these deals, or not deals, these customs charges. So they collect the money that goes to customs. So originally customs put a code on it, but UPS brokerage can actually make changes to that. So basically they sent me this. Actually, this was originally sent to me right here. Actually, this is the, where is it? Tariffs. So at that time, tariff updates, they sent me this, and what we're looking at, it was the latest updates, and it was right here. So this wasn't on there. This is new updates, but this is the one. It's because this is from Canadian Coin and Currency. And as you can see, that a non-compliant USMCA, that's the agreement between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, that are non-compliant will be subject to 33.5%, which is what I was charged. So if for imports that are compliant under USMCA, which I believe precious metals fall under this category, are subject to, let's see, I thought this was like 10%. So I guess it would be at 19%. 19% is a little hot. That's a lot better than 33.5%. But I didn't want any charge. You know, I'm a silver stacker. I'm a silver collector. I don't want to pay these stupid fees. So I made my best email. So they told me, who told me? When you're sending the email, make sure you put evidence in there. Don't say your opinion. Make sure you put evidence and you put codes and policies in there so they can change it. So basically I was trying to make I put some articles that Trump released, that gold and silver, that weren't tariffed. And I put that this should be under a USMCA compliant product. And basically I was kind of BSing it. For the most part, from what I research, this is silver and gold are tariffed. The only time it's not tariffed, which is a USMCA compliant, is when it is raw silver. And that means raw silver is silver that is not processed, it's not shaped. I think that's under the definition, shaped or pressed in any way. So silver shot is an example of raw silver. Or if you're just getting from a mint, they're probably just buying silver just raw before they put it in the kiln or whatever. So that's something that's not tariffed, but if it's shaped into a coin, it is tariffed. And I believe that's at 19%. I thought it was 10%, but I guess it's 19%. So another issue is if you look on these, so basically they're still doing reciprocal tariffs. And right now Canada is still tariffing US silver 25%. So what's that going to do? It's a reciprocal tariff that's going to have the US charge tariffs on their precious metals. So it's kind of a fight that's going back and forth. And at this time, you know, the White House referred to them as reciprocal tariffs, that gold and silver, this one talks about gold, is still being tariffed. So, of course, they're going to tariff it. So, bottom line, I did a lot of research on this. Here is the email. I was able to get this changed. So if you look at this email, this is UPS brokerage. They actually changed the code where there was no charge. So my argument with them was, oh, hey, this shouldn't be a charge on this. This is a USMCA compliant and it is a precious metal. So it's kind of playing it stupid, but it seemed to work. It did work, so there was no charge on this. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to receive a bill from customs, but from what it looks like now, I don't think I'm going to be receiving a bill. So they gave me a little screenshot there, and you can see they changed the code. and there was no charge. So I was so happy to see this because, oh my gosh, I did not want this product with a $6,500 charge. So I've done research and I talked to Canadian Coin and Currency, and what they told me is if your product is over $5,000, of course it's going to be sent by FedEx or UPS. FedEx and UPS do have systems in place to implement tariffs, which they have been doing. So they know how to do this. US has never had tariffs, so the USPS, which does not ship overseas, I think if that happens, they actually give it to another carrier if they're going out of the country, and they take care of the stuff. But USPS does not have a system in place to implement tariffs at this time. So if you're ordering something from the Canadian Mint, you want to make sure that they ship it by Canadian Post. And by Canadian Post, it will go to USPS. And when an USPS does not have a system in place, so you will not be tariffed. If they send it by UPS, you will be tariffed. If they send it by FedEx, you will be tariffed. So this is right now at this time. USPS is going to take a long time to get their stuff in order. You know how USPS is, and it's just going to be a shit show when they put these tariffs in place. Have you ever tried to call USPS? Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. And look, and this is, can you imagine fighting with USPS for tariff issues? So right now, make sure Canadian Post, or just make sure it's going to be sent by USPS in the US. Then you will not be tariffed. So that is right now. I don't know when USPS is going to implement their tariffs. I'm hoping that precious metals get taken off. I hope they will be exempt, but at this time they are not exempt unless they are in raw form. So if you're ordering silver, you may want to buy silver in very small quantities under $800, and you shouldn't have any customs issues. But anything over that, if you have large orders, don't get stuck with a giant bill like I did. So I just kind of lucked out and was able to get it changed. Now, if you look here, UPS says, the tariff charge was corrected and the charge code was changed. They may not show on the driver's side, so it's told to contact you. Oh yeah, so they're basically saying that the driver may not have the information. He may show that he still needs to charge me before he gives me the 10 kilo. But in the end, I was able to get it, and I was so happy that I was able to do it without having that giant charge, because check that out. That's just heartbreaking to see, and it's even more heartbreaking when you know that you're going to be stuck with this bill no matter what. So this could affect you. This could affect you if you order a lot of silver like I have, or if you have large pre-orders from the Royal Mint or from the Canadian Mint or anything out of the country. Of course, you could have pre-ordered this a year ago and now there's a tariff on it. So, like I said, if you really don't want to get charged that, I mean, there's no way you can call them and say, am I going to get tariffed? No one knows. No one knows about this stuff. I went on to forums. No one knows about it. And what I'm telling you is the way it is. So that is the most current thing. It's all new. No one really knows. But if it's by USPS and FedEx, you're probably going to get a tariff bill. So I like Trump, but tariffs, I mean, look at this. $6,000. Whose pocket is that coming out to? That's coming out of my pocket. Now, I'm American. So what is a tariff? A tariff is a tax. It is a tax. You can have some money coming from Canada, but ultimately it's going to come from the consumers, the buyers, and that's us in America. So unless he's going to wipe out the income tax like he said, or he's going to decrease it, I'm not for these tariffs. And do I really think that they're going to wipe out income tax? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So tariffs are a tax on American people. And this is probably one of the biggest taxes that has been implemented. So I'm not an anti-Trump person, but this is the only policy that I do not agree with are these tariffs. So anyway, that was it. That was my story. This was a long process. So a lot of stress and time went into this, and I was able to get it corrected. So if you're ever buying something really expensive, try bullion exchanges or try one of the local retailers. Because if there's any part of the process that has to do with manufacturing a product, such as packaging, they can waive those tariffs. For instance, if the Canadian Mint had a deal with APMEX, so, hey, we're going to send these to you, just box them up. You're going to be part of the manufacturing process. You're going to be in charge of packaging it. There will not be a tariff. So on these American retailers, if you're getting it from there, I don't believe that you're going to be charged a tariff. Now, bullion exchanges had one of these 10 kilos for sale, because originally I was going to cancel mine and buy from bullion exchanges, and it wouldn't have been tariffed. It wouldn't have been tariffed. So that's it. That's my story. It's so easy to say to you, and but I can tell you this was hell. This was utterly hell. Getting this giant bill, thinking that I was going to be paying close to $7,000 extra on top of this coin that has a super high premium. I would have been paying $25,000 for this one coin. So it has a super high premium anyway. And by the way, I did receive the coin, and it's awesome. It is really an awesome coin. So I am a collector and a stacker. So I know it's a high premium. Most people and stackers would not buy that, but I do like to collect coins. And I think eventually in the future, I know it seems a lot to you now, but I think 20 years down the road, I will probably break even on that thing. It'll only take 20 years. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this video, and I hope it's informative to you. Just beware of this. And if you ever have any large pre-orders right now, you can call them and cancel it. So you don't want it, you don't want it to, you can cancel it now, and hopefully they refund you, because remember, there is no contractual agreement. It has to say that there will be a possible tariff charge when you order this product. Otherwise, there's no agreement, so you can still cancel those orders. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I hope it was informative, and please subscribe. I do appreciate the support, and we'll see you next time.